Hello everyone. This video will cover this is second part of ACT36 reading section. So I will cover passage 3 and 4 for this video. So passage 3 is humanity. Most of the time, humanity passages are storytelling. So because of that, another thing that you have to apply is who, what, why, and how, when, where, and things like that is the one that how you have to understand to read the passage. And before reading the passage, I suggest that you do understand the question first. So if you go to question 21, main idea, and then 2, based on passage with the following statements is Sontag, most likely agree. So Sontag, as soon as you see Sontag, you can come back to this one. And then 23, which passage the author directly supports the claim that was more simple portrait. And then 24, the plot, the house of the 7 devils. And then the 5th paragraph, 47 to 62. So you go to 62 and mark it as, what was the question number? I think it's 62, put 25. And 26, according to the passage following, who was the earliest contributor to technology development. 26, 1839, and the based on passage, Degar agree or disagree. And then the house of this consists modern story of his time. And then line 43, go near with memory. Line 43. Okay, and then this is question 29. 29. And 30, based on Michelle, suggests asking students to blank out the eyes of a photograph of their mother in order to do something. Okay, now let's read the passage adapted from the article, The Image Culture. And then it says the creator of one of the earliest technology of image named invention himself, Dagor, the Frenchman, known for his elaborate and whimsical means like unpredictable stage design. Paris Theater began building the work of Joseph Niche, tried to produce a fixed image of Dagor called the image created 1837, Daguerreotype. He made extravagant claims for his device. It's not merely an instrument which serves to draw nature. He wrote in 1838, it gives her the power to reproduce herself. Okay, so in this case, the first thing we can check is this daguerreotype. Daguerreotype is question 23 that you can find here, which is that's the thing that how known as this person, and then like daguerreotype is the one that described. So C, and then we see the timeline is given. So I just try to underline all the time. And the next one, it says despite its technological crudeness. Crude means untouched, and then often spectral image. The daguerreotype was eerily effective at capturing glimmers of personality in its fixed portrait. The extent. So I remember that it talks about portrait somewhere when I actually read the questions. I don't remember where it was. That's fine. We'll just continue, move on. And then it says something about the young and then serious Abraham Lincoln, beard, blah, blah, blah. And then 1848, depict the writer with a baleful expression and crossed arms, and was taken not long before Poe was found delirious and near death on a street, Baltimore. And then, but daguerreotype did not more capture the posture of Poe's citizenry. So, which means it talks about more specific, detail of like each moment that whatever it depicts. It says Nathaniel Hawthorne's 1891 that in the House of Seven Gables was ancient moral wrongdoing of generation lives into successive one. So then now the question, going back to this line, question 24, it says the passage author most likely relate the plot, this one, says that, how daguerreotype is describing. That's like an example of that. That's why the answer is G. And then keep moving on. And also, line 28, question 28 talks about the House of Seven Gables to the modern story each time. Because it's a new technology, right? And then daguerreotyping is the one that, whatever the plot is. So, which is H. And continue to reading. I mean, that's what, it says right here, line 30. And then Holger, blah, blah, blah. And then next one, next paragraph, author Oliver Wendell Holmes called the photo the mirror with the memory. In 1859, they predicted that image would become more important than the object itself. So let's go to question 29. So image is more important than object itself, which is, visual thing. So which is A. And then next paragraph, it says her elegant extensive essay on photography. Susan Sontag argues, this is important now. Sontag argues that image particular photographs carry the risk of undermining true things and genuine experience. Sontag, question 22, Sontag most likely agree is, as we see here, that it cannot show in depth of whatever we see. So, which is H. And then move on to next paragraph. I mean, no, it says something about this is not a problem, of course. Okay. And then question 25, if you go, it says that the people think about this. Like as we see, line 55, if you see, it says that this is not a new problem, of course. It's plagued the art when printing press allowed the mass reproduction of great work of art. Its effect can still be seen whenever one over here museum goer expressed this disappointment that Van Gogh he had hanging on the wall is nowhere near as vibrant as one on the coffee mug. So if you think about this, what's the main idea of this is the live thing is not really important because you can see everywhere too. So which is D. Live music is not as important because you can just listen from the the CD or like an MP3 or like the whatever things you can see. And then the next paragraph, but Sontag points is broader, suggests that photography has forced us to consider that exposure to image does not necessarily create understanding of things themselves. Image do not necessarily lead to meaning. This is important. And then I move on. Next paragraph. Nevertheless, photographs still retain some of the magical allure that earliest daguerreotypes inspired as Michel observes this blah blah blah. So we saw Michel from somewhere. 30. Based on the passage, Michel suggests that asking students to blank out the eye of photograph of their mother in order to. So you have to continue to read something that photograph remain powerful because they remain their people that care about the surrender. That also soldier exists and remain us absence, beloved, and the dead ones. So here, so take photo and their mother and blank out the eyes. Yeah. So if you think about this, like J, because even though the picture doesn't give that in depth of whatever, but still it gives like enough of idea that somebody who died and somebody who cannot live in this world anymore. That's the thing what we can find. And the earliest contributor to technology development, fixed image. So the very first paragraph, I think there's somebody called Joseph Nicephore Nips is the one that 1978, right? So that's the first person. And then move on to 27, 1839. Therefore, agree or disagree. Talk no more of holding a mirror up to nature. She will hold it up to herself and present you with a copy of her countenance or penny. So in this case, yeah, like agree, because it shows that that basically photograph itself is how we produce the image itself. So that's why it is reproduction is an important part. And then only one left, which is 21. Main idea of this passage is photograph itself has important effect, meaning, even though some people can disagree, but then still it gives us enough of things that whatever you can see. That's why it's B, which is powerful and sometimes controversial, which is some critics, they have to talk about some negative things about it. Okay, move on to next one, natural science. Same thing, natural science is logical passage. So you have to read, you have to pay attention to the first part of the paragraph so you can understand better of, the main idea of what's going on. So 31, it says, describe as exploration of, so main idea of this one. And 32, the author overall tone. Tone of voices, you can think it as what type of essay is this, okay? And then 33, author makes her encounter with collection of Marian's painting you need to pay attention to. 34, work of this Pliny, example of kind of, and then can be reasonably conclude that quotation in the fourth paragraph. So 48 equal 48. So quotation is everywhere, you can see. So, but then this just quotation itself. So line 35, I'll put 35 here. And 36, it says based on the passage, the reaction, if any, vote peers have worked with this. And 37, main point of sixth paragraph. So line 66, 37. And then 38, which claim does author make about the rank of caterpillars in the medieval, this, and 28 to 29, the pivotal moment, 39, 28, 29, pivotal moment. Pivotal means like important, by the way, crucial, important. So this is 39. 40, according to the notion that death would chaperone growth. So 26. Okay, let's read this one together now. Passage adapted from the chance in House of Faith. And then nothing really important. And then first paragraph, I once chanced on collection of brilliantly colored paintings of South American insects, some of them nightmarish, giant cockroach and scaling pineapple, for example, and most of them are showing the metamorphosis, which is changing the shape, and a butterfly from the egg-winged insects, a life stage present as if happening all at once. So it's nothing much, just like, the whatever that he see. And then the paintings were work of this Marion. So Marion, we saw Marion somewhere. Yeah, it's a lot. 33. Okay, so pay attention to that. The naturalist and artist who left her home in Amsterdam, 1699, age of 52, sailed south end, paint the life cycle of insects, jungle of Suriname, and then journey made been remarkable, and then blah blah blah. She said, and then the answer, nature riddles, and then also the Pliny is another one here. So yeah, okay, now going back to the question, the Marian painting was something unplanned museum and her youth and brief. Her youth doesn't make sense, it's 52, and then left her home in Amsterdam, Egypt, sailed south to paint the life cycle of insects in the jungle of Suriname. Journey have been remarkable in century, but especially so in the late and so servants still hoping to answer nature riddle, in the classic world, according. Okay, so it doesn't really say much about museum, and her youth doesn't make sense. And brief also, I guess like unplanned is the like closest. Okay. And also like if you think about very beginning, they all talk about chance. That's another like idea that what we can see. And then Pliny is another one that we saw, which is like question 34. Author characterized the work of Pliny, that example of kind of what. So Pliny, they use here poking the answer, the nature's riddles in the ruins of classical world, quoting the authority of Pliny. So Pliny is the one that sort of maybe like authority. So that's why it's G, because still rely on it. Okay, and then move on to next one. From the Suriname capital, this Marinan sailed up Suriname River, and then that was the pivotal moment. So go to 39, pivotal moment, most nearly for the moment. That is line 29, it says 2 years later, sick of heat and fever, she returned home loaded with specimens and hundreds of paintings of iguanas and geckos and fighting snakes and frog-eating scorpion and blah, blah, blah. So that's like, um, sort of like a different thing that we can see, because it says metamorphosis and painting them, sign of metamorphosis, which is changing. And then metamorphosis, so transformation, okay, right there, A is the answer. And move on to next paragraph. If we are believe her journey, Marian knew the details of metamorphosis, perhaps more intimately than the seventh. In her painting and then journals address the step-by-step transfiguration, which is transformation, same thing, not just the Lepidotora, the butterfly moth, but amphibians in 1686, and note development odyssey of frogs from the black grains that fed on the white slimy blah blah blah. And then like now this is the part that it talks about the quotation, right? From the question. It says fed on the white slime that surrounded them. Two tiny creatures. And it kind of emphasized that, whatever amphibians describing about. And then later part, line 24 and 44, it says two little feet from, that's quotation mark, from the skin at the back and after other 8 days, two little feet at the front and small crocodiles. Thereafter the tail rotted away and they became proper frogs and jumped onto the land. Which is this describe about, specific things that whatever she experienced, right? So which is Marian's journal, which is B. And then next paragraph, just what was going on in the rotting away wasn't discovered until 1842, not long after discovery of animal cells. That year, German biologist, this Vogt. So now we know Vogt is here, which is question 36. It says that in the question says, if any did Vogt's peers had to his work with this one. And then it's developing midlife. So this individual cells of toads, notochord being resorbed as he put the swallow up and sucked in, but he didn't think that observation important. They slipped into oblivion. So forget about it. So they slip into oblivion. Okay, so which means yeah. So it's F. Remain unaware because like he just forgot about it. Okay. Oblivion is forgetful. And then move on to the next paragraph. 20 years later, scientists observing metamorphosis in flies and ants and beetles and noted in the changing the muscles and glands for the wholesale death of cells. Later studies of developing bones and muscles and other suggested that shaping year this so the cell by the time the cells here shape toad butterfly by so 37 main point of this one. So it's going up to like, first sentence it says something about how develops, right? It says that observing metamorphosis, and then line 61, developing bones and stuff like that. So that's why, oh yeah, so B, development. And then moving on to next paragraph, the idea of that death with chaperone growth was not easy to accept. So that cell helped grow. That's a metamorphosis, right? So outer cell, outer like, part. It's just like, help us, lead us to like grow. But at least the role of cell death in the miracle of development seems minor importance, and then blah, blah, blah. So if you go to line 40, death or the chaperone, this initially met with like minor importance. Line 70 says, in early 1970s, team of Scottish pathologists examined different kinds of tissues and cells at 2 rapid different ways, and these died accidentally by injury and poisoning, swell, and then blah, blah, blah. But line 75, but those that die naturally during development to sow by quiet and then die. And then like, later on, next paragraph, it says cell death is nice side of growth. Cell dies and mess at incredible speed and not and sculpts our bodies, like blah, blah, blah. So in the beginning, like in the line, for question number 40, it says, in the beginning, it says initially met with. Initially, they didn't really like think about that as right. That's what it's saying in the beginning of this 68, but at least the role of cell death, miracle, seemed of minor importance. It says minor importance. So something negative. Something negative is resistance only. The resistance sounds like too much, but nothing else you can choose. And then last paragraph, cell death, the importance of that, you can just find it. Okay, question 31, exploration of process of cell death and how they go back and stuff like that, which is A. And 32, tone of voice, Meridian's work. Dismissive, no, except at the end, right? And then very last sentence of this one, the body precisely balances cell birth and cell death, so which is positive, which is H. And then move on to only 38 left. The rank of caterpillars in the medieval that's there. So caterpillar, it shows let me see, caterpillar. Oh yeah, line 22. Caterpillars, if they considered at all and classified apart from the winged insects and lumped together with worms and serpents. So that's why that's H. So that's it for this two passages too. So I'll continue to go over, such a manner so you guys can watch and how I do, just like, whatever you guys do. But then speed-wise, I'll say, since I have to read out loud, I cannot do the way that how you guys can do, and then fast enough to do it. But, whatever I try to do with this video is I just want to show you how it's supposed to do with everything. Okay. I hope that this video can help you to get better score in reading section. And then if you have any questions, please let me know. Bye bye.